Hello guys, I'm really happy to see you into episode 9 already. We're going, it's moving fast. We are now at a point where we have no choice to address the quest system. But we have some length in advance because now we understand the main object loader, we understand all the elements and the slots and how we add things like for monsters and items. So we create lists and we need to update them as we create new prefabs and stuff. So now this is going to be a lot more understandable. So we're gonna do two things. We're gonna do a mission to transform Moustache Man into a quest giver, and the mission is gonna be the to kill the boss to get his key. For now we're gonna go with that. This is good enough. But then yeah, we're gonna reskin the bat, because right now it's the bat from the demo. It's a static image, but we want the bat to actually fly and to move all over the screen. So I'm gonna put a link in the description below where you can get the free bat asset. Like right now it's the same person that does the free AntiHero, so he does also the free crow and a free space tile set. And if you look the free space tile set, it looks similar to what we have inside his house. So we'll be able to use all of that. So you can take this asset for free. If you're very nice, you can leave a tip. Otherwise, this is a free asset. I won't go over how to download and stuff. You already know all that. So I'm still gonna do this, but at normal speed. So look at the folder. They offer a preview GIF. They often do this to show in action all different stuff. So you see he has some beak action going there. He has attack and stuff. But for now what we want is we're gonna start by going into the folder. It's not the prefab-able folder, those are pre-made objects, but the sprite folder, sprite monster, right where the AntiHero is. So we're gonna drag and drop the full tile sheet. We are not going to go with the individual ones. We're just gonna go with the full one. So multiple 16, no point filter, and none apply. We're gonna splice it. This tile sheet is a 40 by 40. So I look at 32 and you see this is not perfect. Like 32 is not quite enough. It has to be a little bigger, but it was written anyway in the asset page. It's 40 by 40. So you see this is annoying, it always removes the pre-selection, but you see that 40-40, there's nothing on the right or on the left. This is a perfect cut paper. So this is it. We're gonna use this for the animation to have separated sprites that are very easy to animate. So we click on apply. Now we see that it's very well sliced. So now where were we? Oh yeah, there are multiple bats. You know, in one of the previous episode we had took an enemy, but instead of putting a sprite on the map and animating the sprite, just to test, we had dragged the prefab directly from the prefab monster, and then we had this information status HP and we deactivated that. This was just a test. It's better that you do animation with a sprite, because you're not going to be animating the prefab monster from the demo. It's a static image. But anyway, we don't need that many bats, and we're gonna reskin them, and we're gonna do them properly. So yeah, so I started by duplicating a bat, but then I noticed no, this is a crow sprite. It's like, whoops guys, sorry, not a bat, delete. We duplicate the crow, because we took a crow sprite from the page of the person doing AntiHero. So I name it Black Crow. You can name it like you want, obviously, but if you want to lower the amount of possible confusion for the purpose of the guide, if you're really green at this and you don't want you want to remove every possible source of confusion, just name it Black Crow like me. And then you can copy paste the name into its inspector Not that we have the problem from last time that I had forgotten to rename it. So now, there we go. We duplicated the sprite. We duplicated the prefab enemy. So now the prefab enemy that is duplicated, we will put him in the slot of the main object loader, battle manager prefab. So now he exists in the list of enemy prefabs, which means that when we will use a battle area, we will be able to say one enemy, the name of the enemy, Black Crow. So this is how it works. So we can now reskin in all impunity the prefab that is now the Black Crow. So you select the new prefab, then you go in where the sprites are. I recommend taking a sprite that is looking to the right, because this is how the original crow is. So I put a similar crow right there. So now this is the crow that will appear in battle if in the battle manager I put a Black Crow. This is not on the map at the moment. We did not put a sprite or animate it on the map yet. So now I'm going over I'm moving on. Let's move on. So yeah, this is a voiceover. This time I put subtitles in French, so I have a better point of reference. So this is slightly less worse. So we're gonna take him as it is, but we're gonna animate him on the map. So we're going to locate his sprite. Then I place him on the map, but you see we need to address his layering, because original sprite you drop on the map goes on the default layer, and the default layer is basically the bottom of the bedrock below the street. So since it's a bird, I put him on foreground. Just makes sense. Unless you were a giant or something, the bird will fly over your head, or it should be in foreground. This is up to you. So it says where do you want to save the animation. I just put him in the same place, because this is where I started and this is where I'll continue using. So then you can select a group of sprites that looks like a flying animation, but right now I am in the wrong place. You see there's like you see the beak action going on. So these are not the good sprites. I'm gonna notice it real soon. Then I'll go pick sprites that are actually just movement. So we go down further, and you try to this is 4 directions, so it's not complicated. So you see this looking left. Oh, the first one that is looking right, this is the group of sprite for the flying right movement. Otherwise you can consult the sprite sheet, the tile map. It's showing in better details. So I'm gonna move my camera away, but every time I create animation I just slide it there. I hope this was understood, but I'm still gonna move my camera for the purpose. I'll end up setting his speed at 9. To me 8 didn't feel quite flappy enough to beat gravity, and 10 sounded slightly too fast for the speed at which I'm gonna make it move. So I settled on speed 9. Do what you want. This is just a suggestion. Me, I end up at 9. I feel like my birds look the more normal at 9. So once you pick the good speed for your bird is now just a sprite, a non-moving sprite that has no battle area attached to it. So this is where we're gonna address, I think, deleting the wrong bat, but soon. I'm just gonna wait slightly on synchronization. Create object. What is he gonna do? Yeah, now I'm talking about the bat. So we're getting there. So on purpose we had like I said earlier, we had made an enemy, but instead of using a sprite like this guy, which is just a sprite, we had did like this guy just selected now, which is an enemy prefab. On this enemy prefab we had deactivated the things that shows like status and his HP bar and all, but this is not a good way to do things. It's creating confusion amongst the viewers, and this was just a test. So we don't even need this bat. This is a stupid bat. So from the demo anyway, we're gonna remove this bat, the whole battle area. In fact, this old bat, but be sure to remove the one that is a prefab and not the sprite. You can see the difference. The prefab it was a blue cube, and this is an empty cube. So this is the good bat. We're gonna keep this one, but we're gonna remove the bat sprite from the demo, and we're gonna put our new crow in it instead. So we click on the bat and bye bye. Now we take the crow, we place it approximately on the thing. I like to have the front of him with more space. This way you can walk behind him, but you cannot like walk in front of him because he's moving towards you. Whatever. So you make him a children of his proper scene. So now he basically replaced our animated crow sprite. Now replace the vanilla bat sprite from the kit. So now it's gonna look a lot better because we put animations on it. It was free, so free stuff like that. Those are easy upgrade. Those are all free upgrades, literally free upgrades. So when you upgrade your game, starting with the free stuff is the best way. So I renamed the battle area Black Crow to be sure that I don't mistake it now, because I had too many battle areas, and yeah, I create a lot of stuff to show you guys, and don't take for granted that every single creature that I spawn is relevant. Like right now I removed the bat because we don't. I'm gonna go over the prefab soon, and we will duplicate enemies real fast. So once you create one enemy properly, you duplicate it. So you don't normally make all different bats on the map. That's nonsense. So yeah, I created a custom battle area folder into the prefabs folder, because just to show you, you can create a prefab like this. You can drag your already configured battle area and put it in the prefab folder, and then you will be able to reuse it. The thing is that right now I made the prefab without even having configured it properly. It was written bat, now I put crow instead of black crow. We did not modify anything. So usually you would wait to have properly configured and be done with it to make it a prefab to put it all over your game. But right now just we're gonna delete it, this prefab, in a few minutes, and update it when we're gonna be done. So just follow the guide. I'm just saying in advance that this prefab is garbage. I was just showing you we will replace it later on. Just follow the guide. So I placed the bird here. I think we're gonna start to see the animation and play, right? Maybe. Oh yeah. I think I'll notice that I forgot to write black crow. I just put crow. So we're gonna test the game. It's gonna be a normal crow, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, need to rename it properly. Then there'll be no more mistakes from there. So you see the battle area, even though we put a sprite of the new crow, it shows the old crow, because the way this works is the battle manager. We put in the battle area the name crow, and in the battle manager the prefab name crow is the demo crow. So this is what we got. If you want to see the new crow, you need to name the battle area, not to name the battle area, but to name the enemy that is spawnable in the battle area black crow, and not just crow. I'm gonna fix that very soon. So now my French counterpart is searching the place, and I will soon realize that it's the battle area. Because I got I'm in the future, I know stuff he doesn't. You know, so right now I notice I forgot the name, so now I'm gonna fix it. And the irony that I renamed the battle area Black Crow on cap locks, but I forgot to name it Black Crow inside. You have to understand that I'm speaking very fast in this episode. There's so much stuff to go on. This is insane. So now the name is proper. So now the battle will show the new crow. However, we did not touch the inside animation battles yet. We only touched the appearance of the animation on the scene map. So you see here the mob is hovering like it was any other battle prefab, and this is fine. But now I think we should play around with animation tutorial, you know. But there are so much things to animate in game, you know. We're obviously not going to animate everything, but we are going to do the most important things, which is something that everyone has, because I'm not gonna waste time animating a crow peck if you don't have even have a concept of what is an animator and how to modify the hero, the player, Rem's animator. So right here, in order to find the Rem's animator in a practical fashion, I will demonstrate that there are multiple screens in Unity and that you can use all of them simultaneously. Like right now we see instead of being stuck into the game screen like you were playing on your cell phone, you can look at what's going on in the scene. So now this is a professional way to do things. This is how you should do things when you not when you paint your scene, but when you do stuff like right now, when you test mechanics and stuff, and you always should have your screen and your fight screen separated, and if you have enough room, your animator as well. But now I cannot fit everything for you guys, so I'm gonna try to do a miracle to place the screen, and I'll manage something decent. So right now you see that what we see in the game screen is actually just the camera square, like I said. So the camera rectangle, I mean, a layer is put in front of whatever there is. So this is why in an earlier episode when I put invisible background, you see a Rem world plus Rem battle, because currently in the vanilla state of the kit, Rem world does not despawn when Rem battle is there. It's just hidden behind a layer. Me in my game, I found an easy way to simply make Rem invisible and disable its collider when there's a battle. When the battle ends, you activate it. This way you can have invisible background to fight like you were in the actual city. But for now, now I'll explain you the animator, in fact, because we're gonna have to see it in action, and to see the animator in action, we're gonna need to superpose both windows. But right now I'm going over the inspector, and then I'm explaining. You see the sprite number cycle and stuff. This is in real time because I'm playing the game, but while watching the scene instead of watching the game window. So now from his inspector I located his animator. So this is the animator window. Since I'm playing, it's constantly it's alive. it's live. So I'm gonna take a few seconds to place this thing in a way that we can all see at the same time of the game. It won't be too long, guys. So basically my French counterpart is saying what I said earlier in English, that we're not gonna do our first animation session wasted on a battle crow. We're gonna do a nice fight animation for the hero, or at least we're gonna try. I am not an animator. I never claimed to be an animator. Me, I am a program guy. I am a guy of like video game. I am a musician. Am I an animator? No. Have I gone to school in animation? No. I'm learning from YouTube like everyone. And right now I am a low-level animator. So learn along with me as I discover this and as we manipulate in a safe way. If you don't want to mess around with Rem's attack, just watch before modifying. So if at the end you like the result, then you can imitate it. If you don't like the result of the modification I'm gonna do now, at least you won't have it. You can keep your vanilla animation if you don't like my animation, because like I said, I am not an animator. I have not gone to school in animation, sadly, not yet. Maybe I will, but for now my school time was all in programming and deep IP stuff. Nothing sadly that has to do with Unity Animator or whatever, how this thing works. So but it's easy to understand, because you see I attack, then you see the Rem attack. Oop, it read it once. So and this there's a inspector to this as well. It's on the right. You don't see it because the screen is too small, but you can configure every single directional arrow to say like to say a lot of things. Like right now you see there's the transitions, and I'm not, this is just way over my head into the animation territory. I rather you go see a proper guide for animation, because I'm an honest person, and I tell you, while I know a lot of things, animation is not one of them. So right now I located his animation thing, because when you are running the game like this with multiple tabs, you can select the character while in combat, and then it shows you an inspector on the left where he is. So this is how I was able to track it. It's obvious location, but just to show how you track something live. So we figured that this was this rem attack. And you see that the way that it's configured in the animation, there's a position and a sprite. So the sprite, obviously, this is gonna show rem. You could modify that if you want, let's say, to make him spin around or whatever. You would have to modify the sprite there. But me, what interests me is the position right now, because when you attack, he is currently only doing horizontal sliding thing, which is fine. I wish he had a sword, honestly. But we can try to do that later. We can try. Like I said, I'm not an animator. We can try to add a sword later on. Visually, I mean. Because he has a sword. So, but now we're gonna start by making the animation better. So right now what I'm doing is not much. I'm just looking around what is what. But now I'm gonna manipulate the position Y, because I want him to jump. I want to see, can I give the illusion that he's jumping, but I have no point of reference at this point to know how much the values are gonna move the character around. So I just put 25 to test, and the result is gonna be hilarious. This is gonna be like the tallest down thrust ever, but he's not landing on the enemy. This was like way too high, but we see that the value did something. So this is great. We're learning as we go. We're learning animation together. So we see that this is like way too much. Let's put it as 5. At 5, I think it should be a glorious jumping strike. Like I said, he don't have a sword in his hand yet, because we're not gonna be crazy and paint a sword. What if you guys want a gun in your game? So it's more important to move the character like you want. So I think right now this was kind of decent. It was kind of more destroy than the than the basic one that is basically just pushing around. So now I'm just gonna test the other position, but I put a value too low there. I'm not even gonna notice a difference. I'm gonna test the Z, even though I know that Z is not supposed to do anything in 2D. I'm still gonna test it for science. And then after all that is done, I'll go to the curve tab. You see on the bottom there, now we are on a dope sheet. I don't know where that name comes from. I'm not English, but whatever. There's a dope sheet. Maybe the person making Unity had a second job. I don't know. So there's a dope sheet at the bottom. This is where we're at. And then there's a curves, and in the curves is where we're gonna be able to do more wacky stuff. And perhaps the curve and the dope sheet are both touching the same variables, and they probably are. It's just that the curves allows manipulations easier than understanding. Like, why are there 3 dots there? Like, there, look at the curve. Oh, I'm gonna move this one to try to make him strike closer to the enemy, but once again I have no point of reference, so I put it all the way. The result is gonna be hilarious once again. Rem is just like, rah! To justify such a move, I would have to make, like, a screw attack in Metroid, when you jump and it kills enemies. So you would have to make Rem spin while he does an attack like that, and it would make sense. But this is too much, so I'm gonna try to adjust the curve until I get something that I consider more reasonable. It's already a bit better. You see that if he had a shovel, a sword, or anything of that manner, it would look pretty badass. Just would need to time the impact visual effect to be synchronized with the new animation, because we change a few milliseconds here and there. So there is a very slight you could make this better, but I think this is a very good for someone that never touched Unity Animator. I think this is a decent upgrade we made, simply putting 4 or 5 in the position Y and moving the reddish curve a bit below. And look at this. Look at this. Bam! This looks so much more like action-packed. Is my opinion anyway. If you agree that this looks better than how it was, do tell me. If you disagree, do tell me as well. So right now, I'm testing him on just to see, yes, it's like bam, right in his face. This is perfect for the boss. This animation is perfect to hit him in the face. You know, like in Punch Out on NES, little Mac is so small he needs to jump to punch the bad guys. This is hilarious. Could draw him little green gloves. So whatever. So now I delete the bad prefab, like I said. When we slided the battle area Black Crow in the folder that we made, I said this prefab is garbage, we'll delete it. Well, this is it. I deleted it so that I can update it properly. And once it's updated properly, then I will put it back in the folder and it's gonna become its blue color again, because it's not gonna be missing something. So I'm gonna make a little more HP, because one-shotting him is nonsense. I'm level 1. Giving some more agility because it's flying, it's a bird. Some more strength because I want something to be between the boss and what it was, you know. Then I'm saying that we can also change his attacks and stuff, but we so far he only has enemy skill. That's not much. Here the weapon and armor strength, you can put values there. It's going to be the equivalent that if this bird had a weapon and an armor giving +3 equipped. It's basically that. So when you don't want to modify, it's an additional way to balance the game. You know, there's multiple ways to balance the games. You can play around with base stats, you can play around with the weapon strength, you can play around with defense, you can play around with offense, you can play around with a lot of things, with the weaknesses and stuff. But this is a good way, the weapon strength and armor strength, to revamp a monster without having to reconfigure everything. You can just like give the monster better gear, you know, and upgrade his skills, of course, if you want to make iterations of higher levels of the same mob, you know. Often they do that, they recolor the mob or whatever. So now we changed the enemy prefab, but we did not adjust the battle area. So we adjust the battle area, gave more XP because he's stronger. Now I'm pretty much satisfied, I think. It doesn't give item or whatever, but this is all there. Now the enemy prefab is adjusted and the battle area is adjusted. We can now slide it back into the folder. It becomes blue again. Now it's LT, and now it's a prefab that is configured to my taste that we can multiply. So yeah, put one there, put one there. You can put as many as you want. Once it's properly a good prefab like this. That's why I said don't waste time with the broken bat prefab, because we delete it anyway. Now we got a good crow, and we prefabbed it. Now we can use it as much as you want in the entire game. I'm showing that you can flip their sprites if you go not in the battle but in the sprite itself. There's a flip X and Y. But right now, I said, but our birds, they need to fly, you know. We're not gonna create a script. We already made a script in the last video. We're gonna reuse it. This was a template script. I'm gonna show now what I explained, basically how to reuse the script. We can use this for like every mob in the game that we want to move this way. So the script was named NPCPatrol. If you missed it, go back into the previous episode. In the description I give a prompt you can copy paste, and GPT would give you the exact same script. And then I show also how to attach the script. So now I do a copy of the script. So Control D, it creates NPCPatrol 1. Now it says a mistake, because now I have two scripts that say you have a public class NPCPatrol. You cannot have two classes named NPCPatrol. It's like you had two YouTubers named Eric speaking at the same time. This is nonsense. We can only hear one Eric at a time. So you need to name them differently. So I'm not gonna make this complicated. I just named the class NPCPatrol 1 and the script NPCPatrol 1, so now they can coexist. They don't step on each other's feet. And we can duplicate this as much as we want, up to NPCPatrol 9 million if you want. And it's all gonna be fine as long as you rename both things like I did. So then you select the battle area of the crow you want to animate, and you do a add component button. You add the script that we just made, NPCPatrol 1. But now I noticed that, yeah, but it says script to patrol left to right. I cannot have this on a crow with a flipped sprite going right to left. I would need to modify the script, and right now the episode is so long already, and we're not even halfway because we need to go on quest. So we're not gonna do that right now. We're just gonna go in mode left to right, like the script is. So I look the coordinates that I put the crow right now, and I adjust the script header, because this is why I made a header in the prompt. And then I try to find a position. I just trying to find like a zen spot. Like, yeah, I think the bird should mess around the hair of Mr. Moustache Man. Maybe that's why he lost his hair. Like, that could be a quest. He stole my wig. You can do what you want. Just playing around like this gives ideas. All you need is joie de vivre and imagination. So now that I'm satisfied with point B for the vectors, you know, patrol from point A to B, very simple concept. I put his speed at 4 because he's a bird. I want him to go fast. Pause duration, I make it shorter because it's supposed to be hard to catch, right? So are we ready to test? I think we're ready to test. We remove a bird or two because we don't need that many for the test. We just need like 2 birds, one that does not move and one that move. So yeah, since it's a prefab, you don't have to feel sad every time you delete it. It changes nothing. You can slide it from the folder, guys. This is the concept of prefabs. So you see there's the bird that doesn't move. I'm gonna kill him just for fun. Oh yeah, because I wanted to initially I said like, oh, I'm gonna beat both the birds, and then the boss is probably gonna kick my ass. But turns out silence is so overpowered that I destroyed the boss anyway. So I got the key. So it's why I'll make, oh, it looks like we have to make quest manager now. Yeah, so I equip my super sword and my terrible shield. I attack the bat. We're gonna see the difference offense wise. I'm gonna hit harder, but my defense is still garbage because the shield giving like a 1 armor class is nothing. It's basically nothing. Maybe it removes 1 if you're lucky. So yeah, so this is the point where because the sword might be good, but Rem is weak. He was level 1. He has no strength, no nothing. He has no stats that are pushing. Basically he has a nice sword, but he barely has the muscles to lift it. So he's not really he's not really digging in there. Yeah, he will do more damage as he level up, even if he doesn't change sword, is what I mean. Look, oh no, that's a poison. So yeah, a good strat against a boss is you poison him. Normally you would debuff him or you would buff yourself, but right now I did not put any in the vending machine. So I just poison him, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm so screwed. There's no way I'm gonna beat him. But I'll use silence, because when you silence, he cannot use magic. Even though his magic does less than his enemy hit hard, when he's wasting a turn, it's basically like I've healed myself, right? Or I've survived for another turn. So I'm not even supposed to I'm not I'm not really supposed to have beaten him in the way that this was a lucky run. This was a lucky run that he chose to make magic so many times in a row. But this is also my bad, because if you remember, I removed all his skills except 2. So now his attack options are basically either flame or a hit. And since I silenced him, that means either he wastes his turn or either he attacks. And I've had the incredible luck of him doing the flame option all the remaining turns. So we beat him. It was very lucky. But so now we got the key. Like, oh damn, this was supposed to be for the next episode. Damn, sucks to be me. Well, it looks like we now have to do the entire quest manager thing. So yeah, I'm gonna take a small break, and then we go on to the mission guide. So we are back, sorry about that. So now that you're familiar with the concept of prefabrication, if I don't butcher that name too much, if it's even a word, we're now gonna be understanding how the quest work. Because if I try to show you, like at episode 3 or 4, the quest manager and stacking multiple NPCs on top of one another, nobody would have figured it out. It would have caused a lot of problems. So now I think we are good enough to, if you pause the guide and follow properly, to make to deal with the quest manager, which is one of the hardest part of the guide, because it's a very complicated ecosystem. It's gonna be painful, guys. It's even more painful for me. It's gonna be painful for you too, to not miss the step. So I move Mr. Moustache away because, you know, there's a bad guys or scrolls everywhere. He's not gonna stay outside. We're not gonna deal with making an event to make him run in. For now, we're gonna deal with the quest manager. So I just get him out of the scene for now. Now we're gonna basically just recreate him very simply. So NPC, oops, I put the wrong type. This is Mr. Big Whack. We're gonna put NPC instead. Yep. So this is Mr. Moustache clone. The only thing differentiating him from the real Moustache Man is that he has not his dialogue yet. He's virtually identical otherwise. So we're gonna fix that. Click on the little square, disappears. Instead of going in a folder, you can just go like this, guys. So now that I've gone like this, we're going to duplicate his dialogue a few times and rename them to identify them. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that in this order. Just want to wait a little on synchronization. So I'm saying that we want to create a whole system. We're going to start by create an object, an empty object, because at the end of the line, it's just like the battle zones that we did or anything. It's going to be an object disguised as something. Instead of a battle zone, it's going to be like a quest zone. But not a zone actually. But my point is a parent object with children object below. So now we're gonna create an empty object that will be the parent object of the whole thing. And why we do that is with the end goal of prefabricating it at the end. So we're gonna create an ecosystem for a chain quest. Go deep, boys, deep. So why I make an empty object as a parent to all this is because at the very end we're gonna be able to just like with the battle area with the crow, slide it in a folder and then duplicate it all over the game, and then you just switch the sprite of the NPC and switch the dialogues every time and switch the quest configuration, you know. So if you do this work properly, the next half painful hour to make a quest ecosystem to be reusable for the rest of your game. So once you have the empty object with nothing on it, you create a second empty object and you rename it Quest Activator and you make it a child. So you see the indentation right there. This is a tricky. You must not put it any other way than like I did right now as a child. We need to add the components to the Quest Activator because right now it's just an object with a name. So the thing that comes with the kit to organize all of this is Quest Object Activator. You can find it like I did by just writing Quest in the field. It's gonna make the search more refined. We're gonna want 3 of them because it's a chain quest, so there's gonna be like 3 NPCs. Basically the NPC number 1 that says hello, there's a bad guy, please help. NPC number 2 that says oh my god, you beat his ass. And NPC number 3 that says hey, it's you again, what's up my dude, or whatever he's gonna do. Actually he's gonna deal with the door, but we'll deal with that later. So now I make the NPC that we did, the Moustache Man copy. I put him as a child as well, and now it's duplicating time, baby. So we Control D. Now we have 3 NPCs. So now I'm gonna create an empty object again to close the deal. It's an item checker. We're gonna name it like that, but we need to add the actual item checker script to it. So I basically name those name those not to mix myself. So add component, and this time it's gonna be the item checker, as it should. Bam. So this is the bad boy that's gonna look if the item is in your pockets, and then we're gonna do simple triggers to deal with yes no gates, if you will, just to sort the logic out. But for the moment, let's put our brains at off and just try to emulate what I do. Right now I forgot to put the item checker as a child. It's not very important. It's more about the NPCs that needs to be deactivated, but I'll fix it later anyway, so just keep following. So now we take Mr. Moustache Man dialogue and we're gonna multiplicate it, Control D twice. So now we have 3 versions. The base NPC already has his normal Moustache Man dialogue. The second one, we need to replace it with the Moustache Man 1. And the second NPC, we're gonna put the other one. So now we have three different Moustache dialogues, each in its appropriate NPC. Now they all say the same thing, so we're gonna have to change the text, but one thing at a time. Now it's important just to we have the 3 NPCs. They both have different dialogue. We have the Quest Activator, the item checker, and everything is under an object. So this is all good. So right here we go see the game manager. We see that this is where we already put the chest, the 2 chests in the scene, and they work because we added them properly. But now it's time for quests. So these are the quests from the demo. Like I said, don't remove them, you're gonna break the demo. So if you want to keep the demo for now, just add stuff, no point in removing for now. So we're gonna add the element 11 and 12. I'm just gonna name them like a Bad Boy 1, Bad Boy 2. No time to to get fancy names right now. This is not important. English is probably not your language. Who cares about the names? You can name them as you want. But me, I'll name them Bad Boy 1 and Bad Boy 2. It's gonna be simple to remember. Because then into the ecosystem we're gonna need to use those names as a reference, like what do you mean Quest Bad Boy 1, what do you mean Quest Bad Boy 2. Yeah, it's all gonna make sense at the end. It's very complicated, like I said. It's complicated to make an ecosystem for a chain quest, but it's why we make this right now. We get the thing out of the way because it's gonna be reusable. You must not make a single mistake. A single mistake will make the ecosystem needs to be troubleshooted. Like, why is this happening? And there will be a few mistakes that I will address as I test, like every time, soon. So first, we're gonna configure the Quest Activator. We're gonna slide each activator as its NPC. So this is not a complicated concept. The quests are gonna activate NPCs. So basically, the quest system is gonna be the one that deals with turning on and off the NPCs depending on where you are in the chain quest. But of course, you need to deactivate the other NPCs. I'm gonna do that later. So the second Quest Activator is gonna be just copy what I do when it comes to active if complete and stuff, because if you miss a single check, it's not gonna work. Otherwise, what active if complete does is basically what it says. The NPC that I put there will be active if the quest that is there is completed. So it's not complicated. It's just that there's so many stuff at the same time that it's complicated to digest it all into a coherent thing. But using the kit over Unity at all will become second nature to the point where you two in a few months will be able to teach it. And yeah, so that's it. It's just getting used to it. So the third quest objecting is for activating a Bad Boy 2, which is the last guy. There's multiple ways to put triggers. Like this one here, like active if complete, is a way to activate NPC. But there's also event manager. There's also item checker, and there's also the triggers that you can put on dialogue and stuff. You can put triggers everywhere. Actually, you could put a trigger on a chair. Like if you sit on that chair, the NPC goes on the chair. You can do what you want. But right now I'm gonna go to item checker, and I explained that since the boss dropped the key, we're not gonna go crazy making up quest items and stuff. We already duplicated weapon, armor, mobs. I think this is enough duplication theory. We're gonna use what we have. This is a key item, which is a key item, literally. So the item checker will check this. Like, do you have key item in your pocket? Yes or no? Like, and then he's gonna do different things depending on the triggers that we put. You see item missing, do that. Item available, do that. So and don't click on the got item. If you click on the got item, it's gonna force the boolean value to think that you have the item in your pockets even if you don't have it. So if the item is missing, I want the game object dot set active to change. This is gonna flip the inspector check. It's gonna activate and deactivate the NPC if I have or I don't have the item in my pocket. Same thing here. The NPC that takes the key and gives the key, I want him to spawn absolutely if I have the key. So I check the boss to force him to spawn if I own a key in my pocket. So just copy like I do, like I said. I'm gonna wait a little bit to see where he's at. Now we're gonna configure the inspectors of the NPCs, because we configured the Quest Activator item checker, but we did not configure the details relative to that here. So first NPC, you see a quest settings. So quest to mark, this is the first that you talk to, so it's Bad Boy 1. So right when we talk to him, we wanted to say, oh, you completed the quest, and the quest is to get the quest, so whatever. This is just how it works for now. So I'm just talking a bit over that. Then I say, like, look here, this is already activating him, but there's some safeguards are in place. Like there's some weird stuff can happen when you try a complicated ecosystem like that. And so now I'm doing something that is not necessarily useful, but it's just that I want to show you that the NPCs are like in order. It's like the first NPC, the second, the third one. And if by our own mistake, because we made a bad logic gate, the wrong NPC is popped or whatever, we want to have a safeguard so that it speaks to the if both are spawned, you want to speak to the most recent one. So if you made a mistake and both NPC1 and NPC2 are spawned, you want the NPC2 to put his pants on and to say, like, yeah, I'm bigger than you. No, you have more chance to talk to me. This is just a stupid thing. You should not. It's not an intelligent way to work. I'm just basically running out of ideas to accommodate my ridiculous ecosystem. But now look, all three NPCs got different bitbox. It's just that the third box is ridiculous, guy. Don't do this. You can make them slightly bigger, but not as much as this. This was ridiculous. The third one is ridiculous. So now the inspector of the second NPC is gonna be the other quest, right? So and he's the guy that's gonna take the item. So we're gonna do the receive item and give item here as well. So most of the job is on that guy, because the first NPC was giving the quest. The third NPC says, "Hey, what's up?" So this guy in the middle, this is the guy that causes the problems. This is the guy with the mechanics. But I want him to give us a good quest item. So I'm just going off my way for a second to make a new shield. So Control D, duplicate the shield. We're gonna change his name right now, not to forget. I just name it Chill 2 or whatever. Defensive strength, I think I'm gonna do 5 times the stats, because the first shield was so ridiculously weak that I did not feel it. So I want to feel this one. So I'm gonna do 5 times. There I go. 5 times 2, 10. So now I go into the battle manager, and I will be able to just add the item before I forget it. Yeah, inventory. Then I need to go down. I think the menu closed itself. Is why I'm confused again. Yeah, there it is. So gotta add a new slot, and now in the new slot of item we can add the new shield. So now that the item exists, it can be referenced. So now Mr. Moustache Man #1 can give us the new shield. So now I'm gonna slide the new shield right there. So receive item, item to receive, shield 2. So when I speak to NPC 1, and he should only spawn if I have the key in my pocket. So if I have the key in my pocket, he will give me a shield 2 and take away my key. So now I need to do give item to give him the key in exchange, because if I don't do that, the item checker is gonna see, oh, you have a key in your pocket, but the item checker is not gonna remove the key. So if you want to modify your quest ecosystem for you to keep the key, and just you can reskin the key into, let's say, a guild battalion, and say, oh, I'm a warrior guild, and then they say, oh, you have this item on you, you can go in, but they let you keep your badge, you know. So then this way you would use the item checker and you would not use the give item way. But for this example, we use the give item way. Now I show a trigger on the other NPC. I want him, when you can talk to him, I want him to deactivate the previous guy, because the previous guy is the guy that gives you the item. So I was like, oh, I really want you to despawn if I completed the quest that forces NPC do to spawn through the Quest Activator. I want NPC 1 to despawn, because then I don't want to speak to you no more. And it's why I made his box bigger of the second one. But it's not perfect, guys. This is a hard stuff to do in one sitting. So yeah, don't forget. Now we're double checking everything. So this is the part where you need to literally pause and make sure that you have everything. Because what I'm doing right now is just looking every single thing one after the other to make sure that you guys didn't forget everything, and I basically point with my mouse and stuff. So we're getting close to the first oh no, we're gonna customize the dialogue first before I fix the indentation of the item checker and I deactivate NPC 1 and 2, because currently they're supposed to be deactivated and the Quest Activator activates them. But right now we're gonna work on the dialogues. We're not gonna go nuts Shakespearean. We're just gonna make fast dialogue, because I said previously I wanted to make shorter episodes, and here I am making the longest episode ever. Why am I doing this to myself? So yeah, why am I doing this to yourself as well? This should have been 2 episodes, but this is it, okay? We killed the boss. We have to live with the consequences of our super power RAM. It's too strong for this world. So now I'm giving this guy a dialogue. So instead of saying there's a big bad guy outside, he's breaking my face, do something about it, now it is a dialogue when you have a key in your pocket. So this guy spawns like, oh wow, you beat that guy, nani? Because he's like I said, I'm not gonna do a Shakespearean text here. We need to make this short. Yeah, take this shield. I guess I should have given it earlier, but this should be another message. I'm gonna fix it. I got a cold. My nose is so stiff. I must sound like a duck. Not that duck like this. But you know, it's terrible. I'm sorry for the bad voice because of my cold. So I'm gonna finish his text right now. I just wanted to customize the text a little more. It's not very important part. Won't be long. I got the text. Blah blah blah. My wife's gonna take her tires. Okay. So I'm the one cooking tonight. Good to know. So back to the game. The last guy, we're gonna basically I'm gonna delete that. That's stupid. IRAM. Oh yeah. I'm gonna mention the door because I'm starting to think about the next episode at this point. Like, okay, we're in this room. There's a door with a blinking light. The door is locked. You know, we set all that mystery up. You can't let people down. When you game design, you cannot create a mystery and just like, live with it. You know, there's only one house in the city, and you'll never get to know what's behind that door. No, that's literally cruelty. So we will make what's outside of the door in the next episode. So now I was addressing the existence of the door, you know. So he says, yo, I'll pay it for you, but we won't create the trigger, you know, just like we made triggers to spawn and despawn NPCs and stuff. We can create a trigger either to make the door disappear, either to warp you, either to change scene, or whatever you want. We will find a way. We can just put a teleport on the door, and we step on the door. You did not really unlock it. You just, now the teleport is activated, you know. There's multiple ways to do this, but whatever. So the NPC that when you're done with the quest is gonna mention the door. So if everything works, this is gonna be our ecosystem will work, and we will test it to make sure. But I think I'm going to address now the fact that I forgot to deactivate the NPCs. Yeah, I actually tested the game. I was like, why are they all spawned? And I was like, oh yeah, attention deficit, you know, doing the stuff at the same time, then teaching it at the same time, then streaming it, and then traducing it. So yeah, it's bound to have small mistakes. So now the mistake is fixed. The item checker is a child, but what's most important is the both NPC 1 and 2 are gonna be controlled by the script. Everything that we just set up, the Quest Activator and the item checker, those are the ones that spawn the NPC. So if you have the key, the item checker will spawn the NPC one and so on. So they must not be activated by default, otherwise your system is not logical. So now, if you see in the inspector on the hierarchy, you see the other NPCs, they are closed. I speak to him, he says the first line. He says, yeah, there's a big bad guy, I'm scared. He stole my keys. So now all 3 NPCs are despawned. Because I don't have a key on me. So you see, why is invisible? He should stay there. Then I realize, oh, it's because usually we use a sprite and then we put the NPC underneath. Like the AntiHero guy. We put a sprite and we hide invisible NPC underneath. But now this guy, we did not reskin it. We should have, because this is the demo guy. You're not gonna use his skin in your final game, I assume. You're gonna reskin him if you want. So I'm just gonna put his own skin on top of him in a lazy weird way. But he's gonna turn when you talk to him and stuff. But then there's gonna be, oh, but then you need to give him dialogue. So things get more complicated when you want to make things perfect. But for now, I just want to have a texture. The better way to do this would be to put your own skin, like on the AntiHero, and then the invisible NPCs that are underneath. It doesn't matter if they go invisible, because they're invisible in the first place. If you understand what I'm saying. If you don't, I don't know how to say it another way. But the fact that you have a sprite at all time covering the mechanics of the NPC is so much easier than exposing the mechanics like this, because this is the NPC directly plug on the mechanics. There is no sprite hiding the inner workings. So what we're doing now without a sprite is doing this the hard way. So if you don't manage to do this part, don't go nuts. Either make the texture man a bit bigger, or just put your own sprite. It will solve the problem to have it can even be an object. You hide the NPC quest giver in a computer, and you speak to a computer, so you'll never have the problem of, oh, he's disappearing. He's not gonna disappear as a computer. But whatever, now even though I don't have a key, there is still a visible NPC because I created texture man instead of creating a proper sprite. But you see guys, it all works. But now we only tested the first NPC, and he has no dialogue, so he says nothing. So if you wanted him to say something like, the fuck you doing now? Go beat the guy! Go beat the damn guy! So he would say something, but for now we leave him empty because yeah, see, perfectionism is a problem. Like I said, it would take hours to make everything perfect. That's a fight for you, and a fight for me. Every time you install a quest giver or something, you will have to adjust and do stuff. This is each our own battles. So now I started the game just to see his behavior, to see if he's gonna detect the key and stuff. I think I'm gonna do a video edit soon though. I'm gonna make you guys see the whole thing. I think I'm just gonna take We're gonna wait to see. Won't be long, guys. So I equip myself. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do a video cut soon. So yeah, I'm still having a lot of joy just from watching Rem jump. I imagine him with the sword like, fuck! It would look so great, but then we would have to create to work on the animation by adding another sprite, which is the weapon sprite, and to put its own animator on it to make him make it slice. You know, like I said, I'm not an animator. Maybe we'll try, but you should really go on that channel dedicated to animation to learn animation, because this is the smart thing to do. When you want to learn to do animation, you go to an animator. Right now you're on a game dev channel that teaches you the entry point level into Unity. I'm not teaching you animation, even though I'm teaching you the concepts and I'm showing you where and how. So you need to you know, I can't, I'm not a god. I can't do everything. It's already amazing that I can do this, I can teach, I can do music, I'm a wonderful father, I do a lot of things, but animation is not my forte. So yeah, please respect my one of my only shortcomings. So we're gonna beat his ass pretty hard. First, silence is overpowered, because then he cannot do anything. It's overpowered mainly because we only put 2 actions in him. So either you do flame or you attack. We silenced him, so it's either you don't attack or you attack. So basically, if you're lucky, you just neutralize him completely in the current state of the silent of the skills. So you would need to make the boss have multiple skills, so that the ZU's magic is not a 1 out of 2 chance, you know. Because currently, in the little work that we did so far, we have not put enough skills on the boss. In the way he's configured, he's done. Rem is too strong. Destroyed him. Taught him a lesson. Get out of my swamp, you kids! So he got level up, and we see he got the burn magic with his AoE fire. So this is great. But let's not dwell in our victory. We need to go see Mr. Moustache Man to see if there's something to fix. So we talk to him. Good news. He detects we have the key in our pockets. That means the item checker works. Now we're gonna see if all the shitload of triggers that I put work. But my inspector is closed. My hierarchy is closed right now. This is not a good way to work. So he gave us the key. We got the shield. So this part works. So now it's just the third NPC. The last NPC is supposed to speak, but look, the last NPC is not deactivating him. So I have a little thing to fix in my trigger. Otherwise, it's not the end of the world. It's just like he's just gonna repeat, "Oh my god," but he's not giving you the item a second time. He's just like flabbergasted. He's like, "Oh wow, you beat him." But if you do zone out and in, the NPC will stop repeating that. But also, this is happening because the quest was not in the same scene. I made this ecosystem perfectly to work within the same scene. So now you look, I zoned, and he's not repeating the same bullshit. It's just that we need to put the dialogue that says, "Hey, what's up, my dude? You know the door right there?" We just need to put the dialogue into this guy, into Texture Man, because at the end of the day, he's the guy that spawns at the end, and then we need to make sure that the texture guy only spawns at the end. So the ecosystem guy works. The ecosystem works, guys. Like I said, you just have the final trigger to adjust a bit. We're not gonna go nuts, because every time you do an NPC, you're gonna have to do all this. Every time you do a new quest in a new zone, you're gonna have to adjust to the new quest. So in next episode we'll do the rest. So hi everyone, thank you very much for staying until the end of the video. I like to take this time to ask you to please go on Steam and wishlist my game. Also, you can go on Twitch to see me doing some live development occasionally. If you're a super chat or super chatted, you can do additional support on Patreon. Otherwise, please like and subscribe. Those are really what I'm looking after, because I need to reach 500 subscribers to even be able to get some sort of income from YouTube. Until then, I'm doing this all for free. So thank you for subscribing very much.